Terence Wilson returned to Chrysler Hall February 23rd, playing Beethoven's Piano Concerto No. 2 in B major, with assistant conductor Benjamin Rouse, now in his third season with Virginia Symphony. The first movement, Allegro con brio, contrasted liquid runs with lithe declarative statements and occasional riffs that sounded quite like an 18th century drinking society's anthem to Anacreon in Heaven, which became the Star-Spangled Banner. Written in 1780, it might well have been heard a few years later and appropriated by the young Beethoven. The slow movement is Beethoven's longest. It featured a measured pace in the strings against calm piano statements carefully elaborated upon. Wilson's pedaling was precise and delicate. We forget that Beethoven was once young and happy, but it shows in the final movement, a joyful rondo in which the piano converses cheerfully with the orchestra. Wilson's speed and precision were both playful and powerful, and Rouse brought out the clarity of the work. Wilson, who was sporting a natty mohawk haircut, launched into a wild encore based on Mozart's Rondo alla Turca, with many variations and odd harmonizations, played with speed and flash and power. There was much speculation during intermission as to the source. Boris Goldovsky? William Cannengeiser? But he's a guitarist. It might even have been arranged by Wilson himself, but he wasn't saying. The program had begun with selections from the suite from Ovod, The Gadfly, a 1955 film score by Dmitri Shostakovich. The overture had a big, robust sound, crisply conducted by Rouse. Concertmaster Von Armstrong gave the familiar melody of the Romance movement a very cantabile sweetness over mellow pizzicato strings. The galop was exactly what you'd think, fast, light, and full of energy to a sudden, whoa, stop. The final movement, Fair, was another speed duel for the woodwinds, underpinned by a steady tambourine rhythm. Through it all, Rouse was dancing on the podium, bouncing up and down on his toes, precise as always, and thoroughly engaged. The second half of the concert began with Zoltán Kodály's variations on a Hungarian folk song, The Peacock. Kodály, a great collector of Hungarian folk songs, introduced his countryman Béla Bartók to them. An ancient Hungarian melody was used in a popular song called Fly, Peacock, about freedom from servitude, which is why this work was suppressed during the Nazi occupation of the Netherlands. The 16 variations began with brooding bass sounds, swept through delicate sonorities to rhythmic declarations, with beautiful clarinet, then flute and woodwinds. A pastoral, idyllic reverie featured 2 flutes and piccolo. Kodály contrasted big film-scory brass with harp and woodwinds like birdsong, thence to a lovely ending. 3 of Brahms' beloved Hungarian dances finished out the evening. Originally written for piano 4 hands, a few of the 21 dances were orchestrated by Brahms, the rest by other composers. Dance number 1, Allegro molto in G minor, had energy and urgency rising from gypsy rhythms. Number 4 alternated between a throbbing romantic sweep and lively Czardas rhythms, with playful rhythms in the woodwinds. The final dance, number 5, is the familiar one. Startling one moment, limpid the next, and utterly charming. From the other side of the Footlights, I'm M.D. Ridge.